All right, welcome everybody here with another episode of Cat's Corner with our esteemed guests, Pete and Scott. How you guys doing?
No complaints today. It's been a beautiful day and kind of really interesting trade today. Nick, what do you think? We saw palladium just fell out of bed for about $57. China came in, palms out. Some of the ETFs were big sellers, and as you and I have been discussing the past couple of weeks, we've been seeing China's economy starting. A lot of people are starting to ask some very serious questions right now as to
And
how
that's what I
healthy they
feel
are.
like the movement, and not just the PGM markets, but I mean, obviously that's what we're going to talk about. But on everything, it
Yep.
kind of seemed like things I read, that
Yeah.
was like where the movement was coming from. Because really, besides Monday, we had a pretty good week on commodities, including PGMs.
Yep.
And like things kind of rebounded nicely, which
Oh, I
was,
agree.
it's just like, it would be nice to just see it keep going. I'd like to see like platinum get to 12,
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
amazing. That would make me very happy, which I feel like it's trying to. Every time I think we're gonna get there, then it takes a shit on us,
Well,
use
I
my
I mean,
French.
it's
So
it's a thin market and it's under a lot of pressure, and it's easy to see it set back at any time. But I'm going to agree with you here. I think technically, with the fundamentals what they are, the demand being what it is, we just got some numbers today, Scott. 85% of all platinum is used in gasoline engines. So we're with that number being released,
wow,
there's
that's
just
a high number. It surprises
that's a
me.
very high number, and it's very bullish for your industry. All right, there's no question about it. You guys are gonna be in good shape over the next 12 to 16 months. I don't see any reason not to stand firmly with you on that platinum and see 1200 in the horizon here.
Yeah, we're seeing support in the current situation, and when the wheels of the economy begin to spin again, the demand will push our prices higher.
Yeah, I feel like it's just almost a waiting game to see those markets just really take off. It's a matter of us, like we buy cores every day, Aaron,
Right.
that's what Aaron's out there hustling
We
that,
appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you,
getting
man.
our
It's a backbone of
box.
our nation, man. Not even a question. People don't give enough respect for scrappers, dude. It's a
That's
fact.
what
They don't
we're
understand.
Yeah,
They just don't
exactly.
understand.
They
I
just
think
don't.
you know
That's
what
what our
they're
goal
always
is.
surprised when they see you guys have teeth.
Yeah. I got all
I got
of
I got a gap, but it's working.
We're just trying to
So
run things legit, deal. And number one thing that we're trying to do at Converter Reclaim is deal with legit businesses. That's
yeah,
why we're here. We're here to give people a real option to move their units in a fashion where they can. Aaron will set them up with a box. That's what he's
yep,
going to do tomorrow, to go pepper Utah with a bunch of boxes. And then he's saying businesses. He's not in Joe Schmo in a
right.
garage, because that's the last thing we want. We want to help solidify this business and make it legit and shed a light on one thing. I always wonder, like, you always hear that cars are one of the most recycled things in
Right.
America. So what's on every car? A catalytic converter.
Oh,
So it's one of the
absolutely.
most recycled things in America.
And the wire in the car. I mean, before, if
And
you
the
remember, they
wire.
just
Yep.
crunch them up and throw them out. Now it's all stripped out,
Some
man.
people are using the Scorpion to clean them all up.
Yep.
And
Even the foam in the seats gets recycled.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, but
Bumpers, bumper plastic. Hey, it's a
Yeah.
hot
Germany
commodity.
has passed a law. They just said, look, if you want to sell a vehicle manufactured in this country, it has to be 79% recyclable. That's huge. I mean, there's really almost
That's good.
nothing on the car that isn't consumed.
That's good.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, we talked last Monday. We'll probably get this out for all our viewers by on Tuesday, to be honest with you.
Terrific.
But that being said, we saw a decrease beginning of last week. We saw really, like, if I remember correctly, things rebounded quite nicely.
Yes.
Why was there such a rebound? Is it just the simple demand for the product still?
100%, Nick. 100%.
Didn't know there was something else involved.
No, I'll tell you what, you and I have had this discussion before, and it still holds pat. The thing is that production has not increased. So the net consumer with Honda, Toyota, people like that, when the COOs now, and in 3 weeks I'm doing Trade Fox to talk to a lot of COOs out there, and when we see platinum palladium hit support numbers in our mind, which is 24 to 25, they're buying it for consumption. They're not speculating, Nick. They're saying we want delivery, and that makes it a different market. It's a more legitimate market. It isn't, there aren't players in there knocking it around, and so when the speculators come in and sell a market down, it gets bid up because guys want to own it.
Everybody's bids at least on palladium, $2,500. You saw those buy orders start coming in. And hot.
Gotcha.
And that's what pushed, there was a flash crash and that stair step all the way right back up.
Yep. And flash crashes now are being used as buying tools. There are people running around with their hands in the air going,
I like that term, that flash. I mean, I'm sure that's
flash crash. In thinly traded hours, there's a time in the day of the trade day when you can use the bid and ask and algorithms to hammer the price.
And on here's the other nifty thing on the Tornado platform, which you're on, you could put in a bid at any price, at any level. So you could put resting orders in $120 lower to buy product, and if it happens to break in the middle of the night, you get it. So
gotcha.
So there's tools out there to utilize for these flash crashes which come out of Asia
to protect people when you have a lot of units,
to protect the big break, and also on the flip side for the people that are net consumers for manufacturing to buy product cheaper than where it is.
Gotcha. So both sides could use it. So.
Yep. Scott, I wanted to ask you, on one of our last shows with Nick, we were talking about New Jersey. Any headway or any progress on the regulations on AutoCADs?
Well, we were talking about this before, where it's best addressed on a state-to-state level.
Right.
And right now they're in discussions in each state's legislative body the goal is to amend existing acts and not pass new laws. And that's where they're at in the stage. Is the bill came through for discussion. Now they're in the discussion stage, and it hasn't passed, which is good because we want to amend what's already there rather than rewrite and create potential legal loopholes.
Okay, so in other words, rather than having sweeping federal changes and have them go into committee and meetings for another 3 years, we'll take what we've already passed in our state, for example, New Jersey, and say, okay, all AutoCADs are now going to have a VIN number stamped in them, and that'll be the amendment, and then boom, it's done.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're going to go to the length of having a VIN stamped on it. But there will be programs in place. There already are programs in place where if you want to have your VIN written and etched into your catalytic converter, they'll do that at your muffler shop. You can go down and ask them to do it. They'll do it for you.
That seems more
I don't think
realistic.
but I don't think what's going to happen, Nick, I think it's going to have to be eventually end up with the manufacturer when they're running down the line. It's just much easier. And
it's going to be so hard for a manufacturer to match I mean, unless they etch it in afterwards, that's the only way to do it, right?
Right.
You have to etch it in on the line. Like, I don't know. Like, I just we're always just watching it just so we can follow the regulations and help where we could, because we, like I said, we only want to deal with reputable businesses and legit guys. Like, last thing that any scrapyard out there wants to do is deal with shady customers. Like, and that's where the big misconception of our industry is. Like, that's the last thing we want,
Well, and Aaron knows what a shady customer looks like. We know how to spot that, and those are the discussions that happen with Isery. Is because we're professionals and we know how to do business. We know when someone's trying to fence something. The question is, how do you build a recording process so that if something comes, so it's
That is the
documentation,
question.
the documentation question now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it
Well-
will come, and people much smarter than all of us are going to find that answer. And they're working hard even when we're hanging out and fishing, because that's why we have a team that works together to find answers for us.
Yeah, we gotta work together to help, crack this egg.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I think that's why we at Converter Reclaim are trying to be super transparent for when that legislation passes.
Right.
We're positioned as a professional, transparent organization to take the lead from that point rather than, we'll buy anything that we see. So we're spending a lot of money to be transparent, i.e. me on the road is
Sure.
it's not a cheap thing for our organization to do. So we're in it for the long haul.
Well, Aaron, and all that does is make the industry stronger. If the bad guys out there know that if they're out there cutting catalytic converters off, they got nowhere to take them. That sort of ends the problem. It's an end game. And if the scrappers out there that are doing size know that they're not going to have a place to receive stolen merchandise, because the last thing you guys want is a cop showing up at your door going, "Give me all of that stuff. I'm taking it back," because you paid for it and put it in, right? It's just a lose-lose for everybody,
Well, and
Exactly.
Pete, usually how it goes is the scrapyard calls the cops and says, "Hey, we got this. We got something going on." Very rarely is it the other way around.
That's
Yep.
well put.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're actually part of the solution that people don't realize. They think we're part of the problem because we're buying it and recycling it, but we're a big data port for the police when something goes south.
Mhm.
So
That's interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So in effect, you're self-regulated.
I think so.
Yeah.
What do you
To a
think,
certain
Nick?
extent. To a certain
That's-
extent. I mean, we're trying to be, like Aaron hinted at, as transparent as possible and work with,
Right.
whoever we need to work with, and I've been currently reaching out to ISRI for our organization, Converter Reclaim, to join. So we want to be part of the discussion so we can
Oh yeah.
have a seat at the table to help have a realistic fix to it. That's where sometimes you get people in there that don't deal with it like we do on a daily basis. They don't really
Right.
know. They might set something up that just isn't going to work. I'd rather have a seat at the table to help with that. So we're in the works of doing that.
That's terrific. And it's a good organization. We know the people there for a long time. And I
Brady
think you'll be.
Brady is a great guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys will be adding a lot of flavor to it too, because like you're saying, you guys are the end user and the end recycler. And it's very important to have that flavor in so that they can look over to someone and say, "Hey, what do you think?" And you will be able to share with them how it's going to impact everyone in the industry that are recycling.
Yep.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, anything else to add, anybody?
Yeah,
No.
I'm just sitting here looking at the charts for the 10-year treasury and the dollar index.
Okay.
And if you want to have some fun later, just pull up your platinum chart and your palladium chart and your silver chart and your gold chart, and then have your 10-year treasury and your dollar index out and see if you can draw some conclusions on your own. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I think if you were to look at those charts, it might give you an idea of some of the
So do
things.
is this a homework assignment that you just gave us?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I'll
want you
do
to
it.
I want you to go to your house, pull out your weekly
All
chart,
right,
print
on
it
it.
out, take
I'm
your ruler and
Okay.
because
I love
that's
it. I love
that's
it.
how we roll.
No, I do. I run those from
I know
time to
you
time
do.
to see the trends.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like to see the cycles happen, like, how consistent it kind of is kind of freaky,
And if you get it right, this Saturday night, swing by the boys' shop, and maybe they'll give you a Modelo during the MMA fights.
Oh, there we go. I like it. That's a great
Yeah.
plan. There
Yeah.
you go. It's Modelo time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, gents, I'll let everybody go. Get on
Thanks.
with everyone. Have a great week. Let's do this again in a week. Okay.
Sounds like a plan, Nick. Nice
Thanks,
seeing you.
See you
everybody.
guys.
See
Have
ya.
a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.